Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at the December and January update for Pokemon Go. Those leaks coming from Poke Central, they said as well that the main leaker is retiring, so like we're going to most likely get a little bit less leaks for the future of it. And so yeah, that's going to be what we're going to have for right now. It's not going to be everything for December and January, not even close to it, but definitely a lot of events already and a lot of cool Pokemon and a lot of new releases, and we're gonna take a look at this right now. So let's start off with most likely the lamest thing of them all, Elite Raids with Keldeo throughout December. This Pokemon is going to be actually fairly interesting, as it's a fairly good Pokemon for the Master League, with a rank 65 there, but it's easily buffable because it would learn Double Kick. The other forms, basically the Virizion, whatever, like the trio there, also all got access to Double Kick eventually. So if this Pokemon going to get this, it's going to be definitely a very solid one. So definitely strong Pokemon there. As we can move on now for the next one, which is going to be an event coming up, which is going to be the Falling Stars event. This is going to be very interesting here, as we're going to get the introduction of Minior. Minior is going to be a Meteor Pokemon. And as you can see, it has two different forms. It's going to have the Meteor form, which you're going to see on the top, which is kind of covered. And then we're going to have the core form, which is going to be the one below. I think in the main series games, you have to take a certain amount of damage, and then you're going to transform into the core form. The difference is the stats. The stats are very different here, because the core form is very, very squishy, very attack rated, very fast in the main series games, while the other form, the normal form here, the Meteor form, is going to be actually really, really bulky. So we don't really know how Niantic going to try to put this Pokemon, or like, yeah, in general, these forms into the game. I don't know if you can form change them or whatever, but as you're going to see here right now, the sets are really different. For PvP, which of course is here the main thing for my channel, we're going to see that the Meteor form is getting 800 more bulk basically, which is just insane, and 2330 for overall bulk is actually very decent. Then we're going to have rollout as a fast move. I think it has like takedown otherwise, which is completely irrelevant. And as charge moves, we have Ancient Power as well as Acrobatics. Otherwise, you would also have Power Gem, but Ancient Power doesn't make more sense in my opinion anyway. So this is going to be basically the moveset, and as you can see here, it's looking okay, but not too crazy. The thing is, I actually took a look at this Pokemon already around like 2 years ago, or like 1.5 years ago for Pokemon Go, and it was one of the best core breakers at that time, if it would have been released at that time. Right now, there were just some Pokemon, for example, the Alone Sandwich or whatever, that got introduced, which would destroy this Pokemon kind of easily. So they're going to be eventually the time where this Pokemon going to be meta though, so definitely cool Pokemon, or at least in like limited metas, you're going to be very good with this Pokemon as well. Having the same typing as Aerodactyl kind of sucks though, because there are a ton of weaknesses like Ice, Water, Electric, Rock, Steel, too many weaknesses to be fair for this typing. It's not really a good typing at all, but definitely a cool Pokemon coming up, especially with a rollout plus Acrobatics. But we can now move on into the next event here, which is going to be the first part of the holiday event. Releasing Satoodle as well as the Titan, of course. Those are leaks. We don't know how true those leaks are. Could be the case that they are completely false. Who knows? We don't know, so we're going to see here. But you're going to have also Shiny Cryogonal being released, which is also a cool Pokemon. Honestly, one of my favorite Pokemon back in the day. I loved to use it in the Ultra League with the Ice Shard, Night Slash, and Solar Beam. If you just give it like, I don't know, Avalanche or something as a charge move as well, this Pokemon would be actually really decent for PvP. It has actually very bulky stats for it, which is kind of cool. So hopefully Niantic going to buff it for the upcoming season. For Satoodle and Titan, we can take a look at Titan here real quick. For the Great League, we're gonna get to an overall rating of around 1900, which is okay. It's kind of like mid-bulk. It's not crazy, but you can at least take one hit. Then we're going to have here the fast move Ice Shard, which is the best one so far. Would learn Powder Snow in the main series games. We just have to hope that this Pokemon going to get Powder Snow eventually, because it would be so much better for this one. Avalanche plus Body Slam would be really good for them as well. Fun fact for the Great League, Satoodle is actually better than Titan at the current time, just because of the superior bulk. But yeah, again here I'm just gonna take a look at the Titan, because the Toodle has to be fully XL as well, which is a little bit tricky for a lot of people, most likely in the beginning. And the difference is basically not there anyway, it's just like a slight difference basically in the average rating. So here we're gonna take a look at the Pokemon that you can beat. Of course, Flying type Pokemon mainly, Grass type Pokemon mainly, the stuff that basically Ice types can destroy, but again, the typing itself is just really bad. Ice typing only resists other ice type moves, which you have Ice Punch on Medicham, but Medicham destroys you anyway, and that's basically it. So it's not the greatest Pokemon at all. Getting hard walled by steel types kind of sucks, so it's going to be more of a spice pick / maybe for limited metas only. But it can also be in the Ultra League here. You don't even need XL Kinesis like at like level 33, 32, something like this here. So we're going to be seeing here as well what it can do here, and it's going to be able to beat something like Giratina, Virizion actually, which is interesting. But also something like a Mandibuzz, like of course, like low Slang type plus Dragon type Pokemon you're going to be able to beat, but it's not going to be a great Pokemon at all, and definitely not really that great in general, unless you're going to get like the better fast move of Powder Snow, which would make this Pokemon better. Again, also for those Pokemon that are going to get released, the moveset can change eventually, so like we don't know if the moveset going to stay like this. Hopefully it does not. Hopefully we're gonna get Powder Snow before. But next event that is kinda coming up is going to be the Community Day Classic, I want to say. It's not even Classic, it's the December Community Day here. Small mistake there, but it doesn't really matter. As those going to be for 2 days always, like for one weekend, which is going to be the 16th till 17th here, which is going to feature all the Pokemon that we had during the year basically. We're going to have here some really cool Pokemon like the Greninja coming up, the Paldean Wooper with then Clodsire, some very strong Pokemon in general. Kind of cool year, to be fair. I think that was a very decent mix in between. Like there were of course a few community days where we are like, okay, where's the point of it? But in general, I feel like this was a decent year for community days. I don't think there's a lot that I can really complain about there. Some Pokemon could have got some better moves, to be fair. Something like more creative stuff for the Charger Bug there, for example, would be really cool. Stuff like this, but yeah, so be it. I feel like those are really cool Pokemon. But again, you're going to be able to also get all the legacy moves that those Pokemon got this year through community days. So wait for using any kind of LTMs or whatever on any of those Pokemon. So definitely wait for this, as we can now move on to Holiday Event Part 2. This is going to be around Widear. So you're going to most likely get a raid day, I would expect, for this Pokemon. Especially like the recent ones, we always got a raid day for it. So this does kind of make some sense. Very like cool Pokemon for kind of the winter season, so I definitely see this kind of coming. As you're going to see here as well, the set's going to be close at 3100 CP. Kind of way more stamina basically than the pre-evolution, which is Stantler. It evolves from Stantler in the Hisui region, I think, so that's kind of interesting, but we're most likely gonna get it exclusive through raids. And as you can take a look here at the Ultra League, the moveset, by the way, is not in the code yet, as well as this Pokemon in general is not in the code yet, so I had to put it into my own version of PvPoke. This is basically the best moveset that you can run most likely on this Pokemon, which is going to be Double Kick, Body Slam, Wild Charge. Very, of course, familiar for this moveset here with the Dub Wall, which has the same moveset, but it's way bulkier and is a way better Pokemon. As you're going to see here right now, Widear, even if it gets Body Slam, Wild Charge, it's not going to be a great Pokemon at all. And yeah, again, like I don't really think that this Pokemon going to be too great for the Ultra League or the Great League, even if it's going to be even available for the Great League. So most likely something to skip, but again, your Dex entry is kind of cool. In general, very interesting Pokemon maybe for the future. I think it might learn a signature move as well. Next one, going to be the community day for the January. It's going to be Vanillite. I think I'll forgot an L at Vanillite there, but it's going to be okay as well. We don't know the move, we don't know the time, but this Pokemon is a tricky one, because it's basically impossible to buff this Pokemon to a point where it would be viable, I would say, unless Niantic puts a completely new move into the game, which is so broken that this Pokemon actually has some potential. But as you're going to see here, if we take a look at Vanilluxe, we're going to see that this Pokemon is here. Basically what I did, I gave it 2 new moves, which is Icy Wind plus Powder Snow. It doesn't learn any of those moves, but it's kind of similar to the War Ring community day, I guess. But even with this, you see already, it's not even great Pokemon. Like, this is basically the best that you can do here for the Ultra League. For the Great League, it looks even worse than this. So unless Niantic gives it Powder Snow, gives Signal Beam a huge buff at the new season basically, and then gives it either Icy Wind or a new strong charge move that is not in the game yet, I don't see this Pokemon having any play at all, and it's basically just a new shiny. So yeah, it's not going to be the best one ever, but I feel like it's okay. But as you're going to see here, next is going to be the new Ultra Beasts, which are apparently coming as well for the new season, and it does make a lot of sense. I'm going to take a look at this later on as well, because there has been basically a teaser towards it a year ago from Pokemon Go, which is kind of interesting. And we have basically with the leaker confirmations that we're going to get Placephalon as well as Takataka for the next season, so it's going to be an interesting one there. As we will see here right now, their stats on the screen, we're going to see that both of them get basically to the same CP, but the Placephalon is Fire plus Ghost typing and has an insane amount of attack, plus the Stakataka is basically an Aggron clone with a ton of defense, but not really a lot of stamina, sadly, which is kind of making this Pokemon a little bad. But we don't know the moves at all in the game right now, so I don't really want to look at those as well yet. Like, it really depends on what they're going to get, but right now in the code there's nothing towards this Pokemon, so I don't really want to guess them for those Pokemon. But it really depends on what Niantic are going to give them, but unlikely that they're going to be very good. But let's take a look real quick at some trailer that was released a year ago. As we're going to see here right now, is going to be a trailer that literally released not a year ago, but like 10 months ago. And we're going to see already here the first Ultra Beast, and that basically goes through all like some random footage or whatever from some Ultra Beasts here. We're going to see the Buzzwole coming up, but there are going to be some other ones as well. Here we're going to see the electric one, which actually still does need the shiny. Hopefully it's coming back as well. And yeah, Cosmog, as we seen before as well already in the game. Most of them are already in the game. This one is also in the game, Celesteela. A lot of cool footage by Niantic though. Like, I really like the kind of promotion for those Pokemon. Katana also already in the game. But there are going to be some more that were not in the game yet. This next one is also in the game, of course, already with the Gasload. Very cool Pokemon for Great League as well as the Ultra League. We also have, of course, already the, what's called Soyaleo here in the game, which is kind of cool. Hopefully you're going to be able to get some more chances to get this Pokemon more often. But, of course, same goes for Lunala. But now we're going to go basically towards the new Pokemon that are all kind of teased already, if you haven't seen this trailer yet, which is going to be very interesting. And here we don't even have the name yet, and you're going to see, not the end yet, as you're going to see here right now some footage for Naganadel and Poipole, which is a different Pokemon, which is not released yet either, Poison plus Dragon. We're going to have here the, what we already said there before, Stakataka, hiding a little bit there. Very cool footage for this Pokemon as well. We have UB Burst, and this is exactly Placephalon, which has a signature move, which is used right now, which is Mind Blown, which is also interesting if this is going to be in the game. And then there was a teaser as well, which is most likely all coming in the next season, which is kind of interesting. This is basically exactly a year ago where this got released, so I'm fairly certain that the next season is all about Necrozma, which is going to be very interesting. And this all got teased from Pokemon Go already 10 months ago, so this is going to be interesting how this is going to turn out, but this is most likely going to be all around in the upcoming season. So let me know in the comment section what you think about the season. Are you excited? Are you not? Let me know, and thanks for watching. See you then. Bye bye.